anekantavad. This is specifically you. This is a tip of the hat, wag of the finger video. The tip of the hat is okay. You understand thingness the way I do. You said it's in the eye of the beholder to someone. But then you're still, and I replied to your comment, this is a video version of this issue with some extra explanation. Yes, what consciousness is, though, still. That's a thing question. When you say what is something, you're asking a question about its essence as a thing. Okay, what is consciousness? First thing, starting, let there be this thing, consciousness, that we're looking into. We assume consciousness is a system. Right? And then we could see what the interconnections inside the system is. We might find, yeah, it's a system so dispersed, it's not really a system. That's not likely because we have this macroscopic material behavior that we're trying to explain in the first place. But we still could easily find consciousness isn't the right word. When I'm talking about consciousness in lower life forms, I think I'm going to just start talking about awareness. I think we have a hard problem of consciousness to solve with them, so that's why it's consciousness, but let's say awareness. But this is on the thing. The thing. There's no such thing as a thing, but I still use the word. Why? Because I have another way of putting it. Things are systems. They're always systems. When you break them down to the discrete quantum mechanical energy levels, then they can transform into alternate systems, showing they're still systems. They're not inherent things that never change, unchanging somethings. That's what things were supposed to be. You know there's no things, so why are you asking what consciousness is? And as I said in the comment, my position, and I think it's a pretty strong one, is that all definition begins with pointing and naming. Then you can point at something's parts. And by the time you start doing that, you start pointing at the relationships between the parts. Look, that part interacts with that part in this way. And as you get further and further, it starts to feel like explanations. And we call these abstractions explanations. And Plato thought it was a whole magic world of forms, actually. Well, I say no, it all still goes back to indicating. And that's why you have things like, you know, neural activity explains our behavior, doesn't it? But we don't know what it is. All we did was point at neurons, and their relationship, and then we name it, and then we can keep doing this process, and it becomes explanatory in the sense that you get enough explanations to have predictive and postdictive descriptions of things. You're able to describe how it works. How things work is a material thing, just like their mass. And eventually you can describe it. So consciousness, awareness is a system. How do we start? We point at it. What system is it? Human brain. I think we've done enough reasoning with it to figure out that it's in all the mammals. And frankly, in all of the animals and creatures that move upon 2 feet that aren't, or on any feet, or by fin, or all that aren't plants. And I suspect it will be in everything, period, that is alive. How will we know? Well, one, we could know by realizing and remembering that none of our knowledge is of a thing of itself. You never know the essence. You never experience being the apple. That's not what it means to know that something is an apple. Right? It means having a description of its internal relationships as well as external ones. But you kind of start with the external ones, so you're going towards the internal ones. Cheers.